give the same advice at every single community meeting. People on scooters look at people talking on their phone or walking with headphones as victims. They're going to see you as someone who's not paying attention and someone that they're going to victimize, because they know that you're absorbed into what you're doing, and they see a dollar sign attached to that phone, attached to those Beats headphones. So my advice is save the podcast, save the music for home and work. Don't do it when you're walking in the street, because that's where we're seeing all of our problems. That being said, my plan for the 52nd precinct, from the day I got here, seeing those increases, is to do as much scooter and moped enforcement as possible. So if you walk around the street, a lot of times in the 52nd precinct, you'll see our barrier truck filled with mopeds and scooters. What we're doing is, if you see a moped or scooter on the street that does not have a license plate and it's gas powered, those are the people we're targeting, because a lot of those people are not registering their scooters and they're committing crimes with them. So we're going around and trying to stop them, or we're grabbing them as they stop their moped, go into bodega, we're taking their scooter from them. And then we're not releasing that scooter until it gets registered with the DMV. And most of these, a lot of these scooters are stolen. So we're able to charge the person on the scooter with possessing stolen property. So this year, in the 52nd precinct, we've confiscated 460 mopeds, scooters, ATVs, and dirt bikes. That blows any other precinct in the whole entire Bronx. The next closest precinct to that is under 300. So we've taken 460 mopeds, scooters, dirt bikes, ATVs. That's my quality of life plan. I go to a lot of these meetings, everyone says, oh, I almost got hit by a scooter the other day on the sidewalk. Or my friend got his phone taken. Or my friend was robbed by a guy in a scooter. So a lot of the complaints I get is all about scooters and mopeds, especially as it warms up now. Like we had 2 weeks ago, those warm days. It seemed like there was 1,000 new scooters and mopeds on the street. So you're gonna see my officers out there every day taking multiple scooters. So 460, that's a very high number. And as the summer goes on, it's gonna get more and more and more. So if you have a moped or scooter, get it registered, because we're gonna take it from you if you don't. And then another big increase we're seeing with the grand larcenies is rims and tires. So especially in our sector Charlie and David, which is the north end of the precinct, Gun Hill area, Mosh, 198th, all in that area, we're seeing a lot of people targeting stealing the rims and tires, or you'll see a car on crates. So the super difficult crime for us to solve, because a lot of these areas don't have great cameras, and they're not reported until the person wakes up to go to work and they see, oh, my car is on milk crates. So it's very difficult for our detective squad to solve it. The best advice I can give you, if you own a vehicle, is to go and Google anti-theft lug nuts on Google and spend a little bit of money to get the anti-theft lug nuts. Because most people will go up with a lug wrench and they'll make quick work of a Honda Accord, but if you have a special lug nut on your car, it's harder for them to steal it. They need to have the special key for those lug nuts. So if you have a vehicle, Google anti-theft lug nuts and spend some money. Just like the same way back in the day everyone had the red steering wheel thing. That's how we prevent grand larceny autos in the 1990s. This is how we prevent rims and tires theft in 2024. Am I good for a couple questions, Carla?
We'll take one question.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so last night one of our police officers was murdered in the 101st precinct in Queens. He and a couple of other officers in Queens, this is Far Rockaway, did a car stop on two people that were illegally parked in a bus lane, in a bus stop, and one of the passengers took out a firearm and shot the officer. It hit him underneath his vest, and it killed him. So we do have funeral services on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for this officer. There was 2 arrests made from that incident, and the charges on those people are pending.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Commanding Officer. One last question.
Has the response time getting any better? That's the question I want to might leave?
So our overall response time has slowed a little bit, but our response time to priority jobs, robberies in progress, larcenies in progress, burglaries in progress, and what we call 1039s has gotten better since December, since we last spoke. So our overall response time is suffering a little bit, but our response to priorities is getting better. That make sense?
Yeah, because I'm a block away and call 911. It's like they don't get to me.
Yes.
It's
So
just so disturbing because
so
it just hurts me.
yep. So we have priority jobs and non-priority jobs. So depending on the job, obviously, if you were to call and say you had a dispute with your neighbor or you had a 311 complaint, that is going to go to the complete bottom of our priority list.
Yeah.
So we cannot respond to those jobs until we respond to our priority jobs. So if 10 people called to say they were robbed on a bad day, we're going to be spending a lot of time at those jobs first, and the person that called 911 is going to feel like the police are never around because we're stuck answering all those other jobs. So right now, just for example, in the 52nd precinct, we have about 20 jobs that we're holding right now in the 52nd precinct. 20 jobs that people are waiting for the police to show up. Most of those are low priority. That's the problem we're having in the whole entire city is that we have about 3,000 less police officers now than we did about 4 years ago. So it just creates an issue with overall response time.
Thank you, Commanding Officer. If anyone has any more additional questions for NYPD, you can attend their general monthly meeting on
Thursday.
the 28th at 7 p.m. It's virtually on Zoom, and that Zoom link is on our newsletter. Thank you. I would just like to remind everyone that you will have 2 minutes to speak. So I will start going down my list. Congressman Richie Portis, Mayor's Office, Alina Da.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Alina Dow. I'm the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I cover Community Boards 7 through 12, and I have a partner who covers 1 through 6. I did just want to shine light on the fact that we did lose one of our officers, and it goes back to the mayor. He has been asking since the day he was even running for support for bail reform. So what I will say here today is if you can, please reach out to your local elected officials and ask how you can get support from them to provide some type of bail reform, because the person that did kill our officer actually was a repeat offender. So I just did want to share that information. Also, we have the neighborhood support team, which is the NST. The application process has opened. That is brought on by local law 102, which was provided by council so that we can get multiple agencies to address issues within like a 3 geographical local area. And the way that we do that, we really want to make sure that you guys are the moving force. We need you guys to go online, submit your requests, talk about the problems, and then see what really will happen is usually they'll go in and our director will be able to say, oh wow, we have similar complaints from this particular community, so that then he'll decide, they do a whole process where they say, okay, this is the amount of complaints that came from that area. Now what he's gonna do is he'll get together multiple agencies, whether it's DEP, DSNY, all of the agencies together to address those issues. So please, I just will say, please submit the application. I will provide the link to Carla and she'll be able to put it in her newsletter. And the last thing, please nominate our pillars. See something, say something, right? We have amazing pillars like all of you guys that are here in the community, and I just want to make sure that you know the mayor appreciates all of us, and it is gonna take all of us to take care of our community. So nominate a pillar that has been doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alina. Next we have the New York City Public Advocate's Office, the New York City Comptroller's Office, Bronx Borough President's Office,
Sorry I'm late. We're doing two meetings at the same time, and Monroe's having a panel discussion on domestic violence and substance abuse, and I'm on that panel, so it's been crazy. The Bronx Borough President has been working diligently with the small business services, the mayor's office, on also getting $10 million for our small businesses. We know that during the pandemic, this was the hardest hit borough, and this was the borough that had the least PPP applications. So we're working diligently together with Beaman College, our incubators, and our other resources to help our mom and pop shops and keeping our banks and community banks in our community. The borough president has been fighting for fire safety. It's been a big situation. We've had more fires. We've been fighting with the landlord of the building collapse. This landlord is landlord to 40 buildings, and we're getting a situation where people are being taken to court, even though they paid their portion, but maybe the city hasn't, and they're getting penalized or they're going to jail. So we're working very closely with our colleagues to make sure that we can mitigate that. Right to counsel. So please call our office. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March the 27th at 5:30, the Bronx Borough President will be celebrating Irish Heritage Month at the Rambling House in Woodlawn at 4292 Katona Avenue at 5:30. To RSVP or get more information, events at BronxBP, as in Borough President, .nyc.gov, events at BronxBP.nyc.gov. On Thursday, the 28th, the Borough President and my sisters and my brother's keepers are engaging in Stop the Violence, Eagle Avenue at 14313 3rd Avenue. Just a couple of seconds if I can get at your indulgence. The Bronx Borough President will be heralding Transgender Day of Visibility with the first ever flag raising of the trans flag on Monday, April the 1st at 11 a.m. at Bronx Borough Hall, 851 Grand Concourse. We're going to be having April the 3rd, my brother's keeper health and wellness fair at 4 o'clock at April the 3rd. The Bronx Borough President will be delivering her third Bronx Borough President State of the Bronx Borough on Thursday, April 18th at 5:30, Cardinal Hayes High School, 650 Grand Concourse. And finally, if you have a prom dress or a suit that you can donate, it could be new, it could be gently used. We need it, our kids need it, we want to work on that. We're accepting donations until May the 9th, May the 3rd on Friday at El Central at YMCA. We're having our LGBTQIA plus career fair. It's not exclusive to our community, but it's helping people that normally couldn't get jobs, getting those opportunities. And happy Easter, early Zizit Pesach, and an easy Ramadan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenny. And you can find all the flyers in our newsletter. And you have one question.
Kenny.
Oh, and before you ask me, the the extension to the healthcare of the People's Choice Award has been extended to this Friday. So please, we did teachers last year. It's your chance to nominate someone that you know in the community that's been working in the healthcare industry that helps our seniors and our people with special needs. Please nominate that person so we can join and get them to celebrate that. Our parade is going to be
May 18th.
Sorry, good question.
That's my question.
The parade will be on May 18th, and the flyer is in our newsletter. We send the newsletter out every Friday. In the flyer, you can register your group to also participate in the parade.
And by popular demand, especially from this Community Board. It is back to Community Board 7 at Masalu Park. So your emails have been read. I read them. And the borough president made that decision. Happy Women's History Month. First
Lord.
What's the status of the reappointment for people who might be appointments?
Great question, Lowell. We have received almost 600 applications. We're currently vetting through our new applications. We're going over the files of our current members. We're in the midst of negotiating a beta contract with a vendor, a city vendor, that puts everything into an electronic perspective. So once we have that in place, there's 3 of us in that office, and we will be conducting 600 interviews. And it'll be probably no more than 10 minutes. I think we did a great job the last time. We didn't finish by May, we finished it early June, but I thought we made a great effort to communicate, to understand our applicants, and find out what we have to ask questions for. Why are you interested in the community board? What do you want to do? What have you done? How we can make you a good fit. So these are the things that we're endeavoring, but we're working on that beta contract. So once that's done, then we'll have the new, the screens will come up. We'll have an easier way of doing it. Our application this year, I thought, went well. We actually helped a few people that could not interface electronically to help them fill out their forms. Our community boards are also very helpful in that stretch. So we're working all together, and we're going to work as soon as we're clear with that. We'll start the gauntlet, and we'll be interviewing everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. Moving on, we have the Bronx District Attorney's Office. And there's 2 mics, so there's one at the other end. Over there.
Hello? Everyone hear me? All right, great. My name is Trevon Blondet. I'm representing the Bronx District Attorney's Office. So I'm very, very brief. We have one event coming up, prom dress suit drive happening until April 18th. Basically, we have an event happening in Bay Plaza, I think April 4th. Sorry, May 4th. I'm messed up. Also, we have a youth. I'm trying to plan too many things going on. Child safety fair. April 27th, Saturday, at the Bilingual School at 1919 Prospect Avenue. I think between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So when the flyers get approved by the powers that be, I'll send the flyers to here as well. Any questions for me regarding the prom dress suit drive or the child safety fair?
Can you repeat the date for the child safety fair?
Yeah, April 27th, between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Bilingual School on Prospect Avenue. This is 1919 Prospect Avenue. Also, if you're interested in a court tour, so I know a couple members of the board are interested. If anyone to join us, we can reach out to Carla and Chad regarding the tour, and we'll make that happen. Any questions for me? I'm here. I have cards and my email as well.
Thank you. Next, we have the New York City State Senator Gustavo Rivera.
Good evening, everyone. So I took a couple of notes from Carla, and I brought as an assistant today with me my little sister here, who we've been residing in this community board for a while now. So just wanted to do that. So I'll start off with a couple of updates. Undocumented seniors can now sign up for Medicaid. If you find yourself crossing paths with someone who might be eligible for Medicaid and they are within this particular age group, please send them our way. We're more than happy to connect them with services that can facilitate the process of applying to Medicaid. Okay, so it was the mic. Gotcha. Okay, so, it's long. I know, I'm trying to rush. Document seniors who now signed up for Medicaid, please send them to our office. I do have a couple of event updates. We do have a newsletter, so we have a QR code that now you can sign up. It's a weekly newsletter. Should you want updates from our office, please feel free to come to me and we can go ahead. If I was not, but you can just scan the QR code. It's also on the table. On the table and receive weekly updates. We did host the Immigration Resource Fair in collaboration with Assemblymember Alvarez and other partners. I wanted to give a special thanks, but I think most of them are not here. Sirio, Officer Cabo, and Jerry, who were very kind to stop by the fair. I'll let them know another time maybe. We also have an immigration and housing clinic every month, so if you know anyone who might be interested in these services, please have them reach out to our office. And let me see. Lastly, we will be having the IDNYC band in collaboration with Councilmember Sanchez's office in front of our district office in 2432 Grand Concourse on April 15th, 16th, and 17th from 10 a.m. up until 5 p.m. Please call one of our offices to schedule an appointment. The flyers are in the table. It looks like yellow and orange, not the best color scheme, but want to make sure that it's out there. And lastly, we held a shredding event at Tracy Towers a while back. And now that it's getting a little bit warmer, we want to be able to host a couple more. So if you have any ideas or where you would like us to host these shredding events, please let me know. Happy to discuss and we can start coordinating. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. And Senator Jackson could not be here, but he wanted everyone to be aware of an event that's happening on Saturday, March 30th, from 2 to 3 p.m. at Morris Heights Health Center. The address is 85 West Burnside Avenue. And the title of the event is Bronx Mamas Matter. And the theme of the event is just bringing awareness to maternal health disparities in Black and Brown communities. I will have a flyer at the table. I only have 2 copies, so if you would like one, can you just take a picture of one of them? Thank you. So moving on, we have Assemblymember George Alvarez's office.
Hi, good evening. My name is Natasha Phillips, Director of Constituent Services for Assemblymember George Alvarez. And the 3 things we have coming up is this Saturday. It is Saturday, the 30th. We are partnering up with Foundation, Garden Foundation for our Easter egg annual thing. That's from 11 to 3 p.m. All ages are welcome. We are also currently door knocking for our election coming up, so we will welcome all people signing. And last but leastly, we are doing senior free taxes for the next 2 weeks. It's every Wednesday. Please call our office for appointments. Other than that, our office is on 2633 Webster Avenue on the corner of 194th Street. No appointment necessary. We take walk-ins, and that's from 9 to 5. Thank you.
Next, we have Assemblymember Jeffrey Dinowitz's office. Assemblymember John Zaparo Jr.'s office.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ana Sacerdote. I'm with the Office of Assemblymember John Zaparo Jr. I just have a couple points here. Monday, April 1st, we'll be holding an Easter egg hunt in partnership with the 52nd Precinct. The location will be right outside the precinct, which is close to Webster Avenue. For time, you can reach out to me. And as the weather warms up, we're planning shredding events also. Unfortunately, the Department of Sanitation can no longer hold these events on the weekend due to budget constraints. So we are working with them to figure out the convenient time for all. So if you guys have any suggestions, you can reach out to our office. We're also gearing up to hold park cleanups. The weather is getting warmer, so we want to keep our community clean and beautiful. So our first park cleanup will be for April 22nd for Earth Day. And then, you know, we also are still doing tax preparations. We have 2 more weeks left. So if you're interested, if you're a single member, you have to earn $65,000. If you're a family, you can't earn more than $85,000. That will qualify you for the free tax preparation services. And then stay tuned to our social media and email blasts to hear about upcoming events. Thank you. Yeah, I will have to get back with the office first and figure out what's the timeframe, because I'm sure they have it on the screens. I know that for sure.
You can't hear the question.
Now, what I'm asking is, if they're going to do the shredding, can they do it later in the day? We've had it at Tracy Towers, and it's open to any community resident. You can come over and do the shredding. So what I'm asking is, can they do it later in the day for those people who get off from business? If they can come, if they can have it up until 6 o'clock maybe, then maybe some of the people that work during the day can still have it done, or maybe they can send somebody with the stuff that needs to be shredded.
So I'll speak to the office first, because it's the Director of Community Affairs that handles the appointments with them. So I'll get you your answer, and if anybody else wants that answer too, you can reach out to our office.
Thank you, Anna. Next, we have Assembly Member Yudeta Take's office.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. My name is Franklin Montero, Community Liaison from the Office of Assembly Member Judith Tapia. And the Assembly Member Tapia will be hosting a Women History Month celebration this coming Thursday, March 28th in this place, Monroe College, in this very same auditorium. Please, all ladies are invited. We will have a celebration for this Women's History Month. Also, the Assembly member will be having a small business breakfast on April 12th. So we will be sending the information to our website as well. In addition, the Assembly member will be hosting a press conference in early April about the Assembly's package of the bill focused on e-bike safety. The Assembly member Tape's bill will create a program run by the state that will offer rebates for individuals to replace unsafe lithium-ion batteries. And this bill also passed the Assembly a few weeks ago. Also, our Constituent Services Department is open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5. Our contact number is 718-933-6909. The flyer for this coming Women History Month is right there in the table. Please feel free to take one, and all ladies are.
The small business breakfast, what date is that?
It's a small business breakfast on April 12th. We will be sending the information. We'll be posting it on our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Franklin. Next, we have Councilmember Oswald Feliz. Felice's office. It's for YouTube purposes.
Oh, I need the mic then? All right. I thought I was from the Bronx. Hello, everybody. My name is George Cook. I'm from Councilmember Oswald Felicia's office. A couple of things we're having. Actually, the council member had a spring brunch at Botanical Gardens for kids, honoring a couple of teachers and principals that do good and for our community and for our schools and children of the future. Also, if you came early, I gave you this flyer. It's a women's event that's going to be happening in the Bronx Zoo on this Saturday on the 30th. It's also in partnership with Councilmember Richie Torres, Borough President Melissa Gibson, Assembly Member George Alvarez, and Assembly Member Leduca Tapia. So if you have the flyer ready, you could sign this QR code right here, or just get one. If you don't have one, just get one on the table. Also, we are having taxes in our office too, from 10 to 4 o'clock. Also in our office is located at 573 East Fordham Road on Hoffman Street, and our telephone number is 718-842-8100. And we also have an immigration lawyer in our office. She's by appointment only on Tuesdays from 10 to 4 also. Thank you, have a great day, and happy Easter.
Thank you, George. Next we have Councilmember Karina Sanchez's office.
Hello everyone, so my name is Adrian Cacho, Constituent Services and Community Manager for Councilmember Karina Sanchez. Always happy to be here. I hope that this season has been a restful one. There's a lot going on in our world today, so I hope folks have been able to find time to rest and reflect a bit. So, quick updates. This Saturday we have our Easter egg hunt in partnership with the Gardner Foundation happening at St. James Park. I have flyers with me. The event will start at 12 promptly, and it will be spaced out into different age groups. So if you need more information about that, I have the flyers. More than happy to disseminate that at the end. Secondly, PB Vote Week. Shout out to Toby for reminding me. That will be from April 9th to April 14th, right? So again, it's a period in which folks are able to vote on the proposals that have been made. Toby is one of our delegates, and we have a bunch of folks that are going to be helping us out with that process. So please go out and vote for those specific proposals. Lastly, just want to remind you all of our office resources. Our community hours are from Monday to Thursday from 10 to 4. Office is open from Monday to Friday, 10 to 5. Need any resources, give us a call. Number is 347-590-2874. Or you can email us at richard14@council.nlc.gov. We're partnering with a variety of different groups around the world to provide different resources. If you have specific questions, I'll be around till the end. Thank you all again for everything, and don't forget to rest. Take care.
Thank you, Anthony. Next we have Councilmember Eric Benowitz's office.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Okay, so I know I only have 2 minutes, so I'm going to keep it super brief and just give some quick updates. So we did have the Parks Department come to the office on Thursday, the 21st. It was very productive. They had a presentation for us. There was a slideshow, there was a PowerPoint. We were able to talk to them about their fiscal needs and their capital needs and what they wanted to do as far as getting development to the park and having some changes there. So some of the things we went over, the special event permit application, which is very useful to have some kind of just there. And you want to know about the process, we're now able to tell you a little bit more about that. We went over the capital needs and the funding needs, as far as like the daily playground for independence, Marble Hills, Season Park for tennis court. And we're also working, me specifically, I've been in contact with the police department, specifically the precinct to talk about illegal car washes. That is something that has also been going on that for a lot of people is a big problem. Please, if you are experiencing like walking by, driving by, and you see illegal car washes, please go out and report it or get a call to the office. I'll give you the number at the end. And then we also have been getting some reports of issues going on with the sanitation, trash flying around, please. Also, that's something the office can handle and help with. Please give us a call. You can also do a 1 report if there's an issue with your trash pick. In 1 second, I'm going to turn it to you. Okay, and the office also, something that we have been made aware of for people who are looking towards citizenship, there have been increases in fees. We just got a notification about that via email. If you are looking for having a conversation with maybe an immigration attorney or talk about citizenship, please reach out to the office. We're going to contact you and guide want to bring a donation, bag of clothing, maybe a special one, lightly worn, we're still accepting it. We also are accepting diapers, formula, and we have more office hours for the Portland Library. So we're going to be back there in April. So April 9th, I believe. We also are going to, something just to let you guys know that I heard about earlier today. There is a event that's going to happen in June. It was very, very far away, but it is going to be fastly approaching. So there is going to be a Portland Park kickoff summer fishing event in June 8th. The person that is in charge of the event called and asked if the community would like to support and come out, learn more about fishing, how it impacts your mental health, have a nice healthy sport you can participate in, and they'll also give you pointers and more activities that are sponsored. And last but not least, we are going to have a little bit of an update. I know that I went to the CB7 Parks meeting, but we wanted to let you know we're still working on that update for Fresh. So we just need a little bit of time. I know Jenna has been working diligently on that about Fresh. And then as far as parks, they wanted to let us know, and now everyone else here is going to know, that there is a procurement phase for parks for Harris Field. So they're going to start summer 2024, so summer this year, to fall of this year. They're going to start, they're going to change up the turf. It's going to get maybe like a little makeover, just so it looks a little bit better. So I just want to and that's it. If you have a phone call, a question.
There was a word that went out that there would be free tolls for Bronx residents on the Henry Hudson Bridge. Now I have heard, and people are asking me, that it's only certain zip codes.
So that's typically the assembly office, Jeffrey Dinowitz's office typically handles that. But I'm more than happy to talk to them and get more information for you about it. But we did have people who call because there are some that are exempt from this and some that are participating. But if you want, I can chat with you after when we're wrapping up, and I can get that information and talk to Jeffrey's office and see how we can go ahead and help you with that if that's okay.
Okay, because a number of people are coming to me and are very, very angry because they said, you know, I was told I live in 10467, I'm not covered. But if I live in Riverdale, I'm getting it and it's in my bill refund. And they're looking at me and I don't like the comments I'm getting.
Okay, I can definitely speak to you after. I'm sorry about that, but again, that is Jeffrey Dinowitz's office, the assembly office, but I work for the council members as well. I'm more than happy to chat with you and get more information, take some notes, and then we can follow up with you tomorrow. Is that okay? And then as far as that, do I have any other questions before I go? Okay? Thank you. Can I let them know the contact information? Sure, very briefly. And I know I went over the two, so if you're looking for me, my name is Patrice. I work at the council office every single day, and I am available via cell or cell in my hand, and then also via phone, 718-549-7300. Please send me an email. I have business cards. If you want an email, chat, just say hi. Feel free to stop by the office tomorrow.
Next we have Sibaida Hawa Yoda. Alright, Sirio Dorino. Laura Alvarez. There is a mic on that end as well.
Hello, everybody. My name is Laura Alvarez. I'm a local artist here in the Bronx. And for quite some time, I've been trying to get funding to fix the mural I did back in 2018 in 207 on Bainbridge, the one that says Norwood, the Bronx. Yeah. It's been tough to get funding, so because I couldn't find funding, I started a fundraiser in Ayobi, because they have matching funds now, up to $500 per person per donation. They match up to $3,000. So I'm trying to get at least the $6,000 so we can get a few community events before painting to get people, to get ideas from people and to see what they want to see. And with those ideas, I will create a mural that would go on that wall again. She'll be there too. And yeah, that's basically it. So we have now, it's been up for 5 days, and we did about $1,400. So hoping that by the end of it's April 18th, 28th, that we get the funding. If not, I will try to still get some other funding if anybody knows ideas. What else?
Can you share the location?
It's 207 on Bainbridge. Yes, it's right there going to Montefiore. Everybody passes by from the train to Montefiore. And there's a lot of volunteers already that sign up. It's like over 20 people and a couple of groups that they said that they want to come and join, but we still need the money to get all the paint and all the stuff that is needed for the mural to be up. So any ideas are welcome. I will send the information to Carla so she can share it in the newsletter and see if we can get some more donors for the mural. Yeah.
The community, of course, you said there's like community organizations that want to be a part of it. Are they specifically located around the neighborhood?
Yes, so the Bronx Nomads have said that they wanted to be part of it. The community, the recreation center, I just got a message, because I used to work for parks, so they said, we want to go and help. And some other, there's a high school nearby that also said that they wanted to be included. So once we know how the funding looks like, then I can reach out to the groups. I have an Excel spreadsheet, so I already have everybody that has reached out. And once we get the funding, and we get dates, then I'll reach out and see what we can do. Laura Alvarez? Yeah. There is a QR code, yes. I'll send it to Carla to go to the page.
And you can find that information in our newsletter on Friday.
Yes, and if anybody is in social media, you can go to my Instagram, Big Eyes World, and find me there. And there's some posts about it too. And then the link is on my bio.
We like you, Laura.
Thank you.
Next we have Lonesha Sesons.
Hello everyone, I'm Lanisha, I'm here with Ashley Services, and I'm here to tell you about our Trauma Recovery Center. We had a grand opening a few weeks ago on March 8th, and March 4th, sorry. And our program is here to help survivors of trauma. The purpose of the program is to reduce the long-term effects of post-traumatic stress disorder. So we offer case management, so connecting our survivors to community resources, housing services, job search, food, things like that. We also offer individual, group, and family therapy to our members, medication management, legal advocacy and assistance. To qualify for our program, you have to be at least 5 years of age, a resident of the Bronx, and a survivor of a violent crime, which includes human trafficking, sexual abuse, physical abuse, or grief and loss by way of homicide. We offer services in English and Spanish, so we have language services. And the cost is free, so no matter insurance, you're free to, if you qualify, you're free to become part of our program. We have locations in Gun Hill Road and one in High Bridge area. We do also do home visits, so if you're not around either of those locations, we're free to come see your community as well. I can leave some of the flyers up here. You can also find more information on our website, accessservices.com and accessservices.org, sorry. Yes?
Is there an age limit?
No, as long as you're older than 5 years old, you're free to join. Yep. The program is a Trauma Recovery Center with Astor Services. A-S-T-O-R. Yes.
There's a question.
Yes.
Yes, hi. I just want to ask, what is your reach with regards to folks who serve in the military? Have you guys had any experience serving that demographic?
So we just opened our program, but we do have evidence-based models that focus on treating trauma. So whatever that looks like, we follow evidence-based models to help those people as well. Does that answer your question, or are you asking something?
Well, I think it's an opportunity that can be entertained. I chair the Veterans Committee, so perhaps I should take your contact.
Yes, I have business cards as well. I can leave with you guys. Yes.
I don't know if you mentioned it, but in regards to insurance,
It's free of cost.
it's free of cost,
Yes.
so there's no insurance. Thank
No
you.
insurance
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Next we have AJ Ramos.
Hello, everybody. As Ramadan comes to an end, I'm sad that since December I've been here asking for a ceasefire, and a lot of the elected still haven't done anything. Hopefully, there won't be a genocide, and we'll still be able to hear you one day. With that being said, motion ASA vote yes. But the wording of the motion sucks. It's super performative about the signage, especially that last line. As the board is only advisory and the signage is usually a staff level LPC approval, they should just submit it as a yes. Is the current urban decay, devastation, and demolition that stands there now truly better than one of New York's most iconic imagery for light signs and billboards? Why not make Fordham the new Times Square? Why not light up Fordham and the concourse as it once was? Why not restore our past and fix the holes, gaps in our landmarks that have been left there by the city? With that being said, I just wanted to close out with the budget requests and the submissions. They all need reworking. Stop resubmitting the same one over and over and over. That's literally the definition of crazy. If you can see my submitted requests, as I was told last month, a couple months ago, request time that on the record that they would be used for the next one. Please see them as inspiration to cite sources, add articles, add some more substance and data so that they can actually see what you're talking about, and that the city doesn't tell you to talk to them directly or to reach out to your city council person. You guys should already be doing that. It looks like you guys are wasting our taxes and wasting our meetings for the public's meetings because you guys don't do public hearings for audit. It's just like a full waste of our tax dollars. So when the public comes with requests, please pass them through and hear them out. Don't just table them for nothing because your requests are getting us nowhere. Thank you so much.
Thank you, AJ. Next we have Eric Ortiza.
Good evening, my name is Eric Ortiz. I'm from the West Bronx Housing and Neighborhood Resource Center. We are located at 20 East 204th Street. We open from 9 to 5. We help tenants and landlords with mediation. We also help people with repairs, know their rights in housing court, and also help them get the waivers they need to stay home. We also help Section 8 people with restaurant street reading programs. We help them review programs. Number one complaint this year has been heat, also repairs, and we have done a lot of new complaints. Clients have done new complaints. City agencies, especially HPD, are not coming out doing the inspections correctly or have closed the complaints on all parameters. Also, we've seen more than 750 people since the fiscal year of 2024, and we are in the pace of being the busiest years since before the pandemic. Also, we are seeing a lot of scams where this places multi-service centers that are advertising as realtors, which they are not. A lot of people are getting scammed. They are renting apartments under their names, the realtor's name, and then they're charging the people that they're getting an apartment twice the legal rent. That's something that we are running on. So everybody just be careful. If you have any questions, I'll be happy.
Thank you, Eric. Next we have Casey Williams.
So I'm a local resident. I live like a block or two away. And so this is my first time coming to one of these meetings, and I wanted to come out to kind of address like a few issues and bring it to some attention of the safety issue that's happening in my community. It doesn't feel safe anymore. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. Especially in my building where I've seen people using substances and I'm walking past people who are totally under the influence, and if we call the police, it's scary because you don't know what retaliation could happen, so I'm a little fearful of that. Especially because the cops come and knock on the door and they're like, did you call the police and things like that. So, and then you're like, yeah, and then the person is still out there doing whatever they're doing.
I was going to move your camera and you were speaking, but I didn't want to touch it.
Doing anything about it. So I find that to be a major concern. I am a female and I'm alone, and that is not something I want to have to use my karate skills to do, okay? So, and then secondly, when it comes to housing, the amount of rent, and I'm glad that Eric mentioned, like, what is going on. It is terrible that you can make a certain amount of money and you still can't afford to live within your own community. And, you know, there's a lot of buildings being put up all around our community, and you can't even afford or can't even get into these buildings. And they're brand new, and it's like, wow, I can't afford $3,200 rent, you know, on my salary, and I make pretty good money. So it's a little concerning. So I just wanted to talk about those things and see if anybody else has brought light to it and how these things can be addressed amongst us so that we can start making some changes.
Thank you, Tracy. You can always put your landlord or your super in contact with the community board. I have sat in meetings between landlords and NYPD just to brainstorm how public drug use can be addressed, but also if someone is selling out of the building, someone who doesn't necessarily live in the building sometimes, and NYPD is where you have to have that conversation. Right. Last but not least, we have Jane Addison out here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jane Addison Amoya. I'm the library manager for the local library, the New York Public Library. I'm here this evening to inform you about a special program that's coming to Washington. This program is Creative Aging Art Workshop. Creative Aging Art Workshop. The 8-part series will be held on Saturdays from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. from March 30th to May 18th. So everyone is welcome from ages 50 and older to participate. Age 50, 50, for adults. This program is for adults age 50 and older. We always have programs for children, teens, so we try to have special ones for older adults. And participants will engage in activities such as embroidery, gluing, painting, printing, and cutting. All materials will be provided. So just come in on Saturday, starting with Saturday at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Registration is required, so if you want to come, call the branch or stop by at the service desk or do it online. And let's start to participate. The title is My Hands Are My Heart. My hands are my hands. I look forward to seeing all of you. I have flyers on the table and other programs. Thank you.
That's the question. Is the library, I heard yesterday, because of the eclipse on April 8th,
specific locations. The location for New York City is actually downtown for you to receive classes.
We have some updates for the general public, so I'll let you know as soon as I'm able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our public hearing session. Madam Chair, the meeting is yours.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Today is, can you believe it, March 26, 2024, and we are going to move on with our agenda, and we're going to move on with the district manager's updates.
First, I'd like to give a big thanks to Betty Darcy, Robin Roland, Eileen Hartman-Kanaski, Hugo Gonzalez, and Ezra Ramos, and all the community members who participated in our Free Waste event on March 17th. Also, a big shout out to Robin Roland for attending our tax prep workshop in collaboration with BCWP on March 25th. The session was very informative. They provided updates on how you can enroll to be a person that helps someone prep their taxes. And we'll be sharing that information as well as the recording for the training on our YouTube page. We are accepting applications for the New York Yankees Youth Leadership Award until April 7th at 12 p.m. noon. The application is open to youth ages 14 to 18 years old. We will be tabling at the annual Spring Egg Hunt at Wayne Beach Oval on Saturday 30th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we will also be tabling at the 52nd Precinct Council Egg Hunt on April 1st. As a reminder, the Department of City Planning continues to host different info sections around City of Guestport housing opportunity. I urge you all to attend. There is a training tomorrow at 6 p.m. and there is one on April 17th that will provide an overview of the whole housing opportunity proposal. We have items listed on public surplus, and our office is open for in-person constituent services from Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and we're virtually on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you.
At this moment, I would like to take 1 minute of silence for the officer that was murdered yesterday. And the reason why, he is not just an officer wearing a uniform, he's someone's husband, brother, cousin. You know, he has a family. So I would like to take a moment to of silence for that fallen officer. Thank you, everyone. Moving along with the chairperson's remarks, like we've said several times, a lot of our events and a lot of the events done by our elected officials are put in our newsletter every week. Please sign up for it. Please keep track of it. We do post a lot of information there as well. So, you know, there's only so much we can do, you know, in person, the staff, which we have a great staff. Stephen, Carla, and our new coordinator who's going to be joining us April 1st. There's only so much we can do as people, but we also have to have a responsibility. If you want to be a part of it, be in the know, right? We have social media, we post, we do all these things. We can follow a newsletter and be in tune with your community and the events that happen in your community. So I suggest for everyone to sign up. If you haven't, do so and follow what happens. Also, there is for my members, the CEC is hosting a conflict of resolution workshop virtually on Thursday, March 28th. This is from 6:30 to 8 p.m. They do these all the time. They send out tons of emails for different workshops. my recommendation is to join them. I do them all the time, and they're great. It gives you a very big perspective as to what's going on in the city and what they're trying to do. So if you can sign up for them, they're on all the time. If you can, contact the office. Carla will provide information and sign you up if we need to. But that's something that I do all the time, just to keep in the know what's going on. Okay? And moving along, that's it for me. I'm going to pass it all to our secretary for the roll call. Eileen.
Hi, good evening. If any of the representatives of the elected are here and you have a little description of the 2-minute talk that you gave, please leave me a copy because you're reporting very important things and I'd like to be sure that I have it all. Okay, or you can email me. Thank you. Larissa Costa.
Present.
Pasha Andrews. Eddie Arce.
Present.
Yahira Arias.
Present.
Emmanuel Asamoah. Michelle Avila.
Present.
Damari Barbosa. Toby Buford. Manjur Chowdhury.
Present.
Kamali Corley. Thank you. Sandra Erickson.
Present.
Hugo Gonzalez. Alfred Grant. Noel Green. Leslie Harrison. Eileen Hartman-Kadnowski is here. Jean Hill.
Jean Hill is present.
Andrew Leosa. Rosalie Leslie. Jesus Lopez Jensen. Kazi Noor. Kazi? Oh, okay. Marian Farah Feliz. Thank you. Diana Pena.
Diana Pena present.
Thank you. Daisy Perry. Edgar Ramos. Robin Rowan. Chad Royale.
Present.
Mamadou Salina.
Present.
We have to get you to sign it. Carlos Sosa. Samantha Souvlakis. Barbara Stronza.
Barbara Stronza is present.
Gwen Thomas Steve. Adeline Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson. Bernard Wright.
Present.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Moving along, on the agenda is a review of previous month's minutes, and that starts on page 7, all the way to the end. Take a minute to review. If there are any corrections, misspelling, things that we should make note of, please let us know. One correction. Any others? Yes? Michelle?
It was for the executive committee minutes. We're reviewing the general board, that was my mistake. And then just so for reference, on page 16, the last sentence was, there was a suggestion to have a town hall, not with the interagency task force, but to have a town hall to talk about enforcement from clients and the health risks associated with illegal cannabis consumption. So that was a note I was making.
On the same page, under environment and sanitation, number 2, it is not a half-hour training, it is an online training.
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
This is page 7.
Page 16.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other corrections to be made? Okay, can we move to a vote?
Motion to accept minutes with the corrections?
Thank you, Betty. Second, anyone second?
Second.
Thank you. Please.
Larry Acosta,
Approves.
Tasha Andrews, Betty Arsen, approved. Nahara Arias, approves with corrections. Manuel Asamoah, here. Michelle Avila,
Approves.
Amari Barbosa, Toby Buford, Andrew Chowdhury, Kamali Corley, Sandra Erickson, approves. Hugo Gonzalez, Alfred Grant, Lowell Green. Lowell Green. Leslie Harrison, Lee Harkins-Kadowski approves. Jean Hill.
Jean Hill approves.
Thank you. Andrew Leosa. Rosalie Leslie. Jesus Lopez Jensen. Kazi Noor. Marion Howard Feliz. Diana Pena. Daisy Perry. Edgar Ramos. Robin Rowan. Chad Royer.
Chad Royer approves with corrections.
Mamadou Savana. Carlos Sosa. Samantha Subatsis. Barbara Stronzo.
Barbara Stronzo approves.
Gwen Thomas Steve. Adeline Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson. And Rob Bernard Wright. Bernard? Thank you.
Motion passes. We're moving on to motions. We have a motion from the Housing, Land Use, and Economic Development. Eric Asensio is the chair of that committee. He is not here today, so his vice chair, Sandra Erickson, will present the motion.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Erickson, the Vice Chair of the Housing, Land Use, and Economic Development Committee. Tonight, before you is a motion titled Proposed Permit Application to the Landmark Preservation Committee for work on 2530 Grand Concourse, the former Dollar Savings Bank. The recommended action, the wording of the motion, is to send a letter to the Landmark Preservation Commission in support of the renovation of the 4 clocks on the tower and the proposed lighting / signage and font style for the signage on the building facade and tower. I'm going to give a little bit of background. The proposed renovation of the clocks in the tower and the lighting signage are in addition to the previously presented Landmark Preservation Commission to application in 2021 for the exterior and interior renovations of 2530 Grand Concourse. The committee had previously approved the interior renovation of the bank building into a fine fare supermarket. Since then, the developer has acquired the tower portion of the building and is currently renovating it, including the 4 clocks in the tower, which will be made functional. Landmarks is currently considering the appropriateness of the type of lighting and font size for the signage proposed on the building facade and tower. There is a link available with a lot of wonderful pictures and describing the material of the clock. It will look identical. They were even able to save some of the brass pieces for the perimeter of the clock and the numbers, etc. The clocks will not be lit. It's only the signage. So, rationale for recommendation, the committee finds that the use of the proposed modern and more durable materials, as shown in the presentation for the 4 clocks at the top of the tower, mimic that of the original clock design. In addition, the committee finds the lighting and font style for the proposed Fine Fair supermarket signage on the building appropriate, as the facade medallions and tower resemble the original Art Deco style signage used in the Dollar Savings Bank signage. Any deviation to the approved design style will need to be reviewed by Landmarks and Community Board 7. Timing, the Landmarks Preservation Committee should receive a letter by April 5th of 2024. The committee voted 6 in favor and 1 absent. The executive vote was 9 in favor, 2 absent, and that explains the motion. I guess I will make the motion and we'll look for a second. Second on Edgar. Any discussion from the board members? Any questions? Go ahead. Oh, please, go ahead. Yes. The Fine Fair just to the south of the tower is already what was the bank hall. And that's landmark, the interior is landmark, so that was presented to the committee in 2021. And I expect it's going to open this year, right? Yes. Yeah, there'll be a grand opening, but we'll be invited. May? Oh, very soon, May, yes. Andrew?
A little bit of a question. Those of us who've been on the board for a long time have had discussions concerning the landmark in our community. The clock is right at 3 p.m. Has there been any discussion of contacting whatever company is hired to renovate the clock that they're talking about? Find out if that company can do a clock that we set as well.
Well, that's a great idea. We'll take it up in our committee.
I'd like to answer that. When I was on the 52nd Precinct Community Council, I did some research on that clock, and it is very difficult. The parts, it is a much older building than the Dollar Savings Bank, and I learned that it is really very difficult. The parts you would almost have to have. I don't think there are many companies or individuals who can fix that clock. It will be extremely expensive. I mean, we can look into it again, but what I was told was that those parts would have to be made to be able to fix that clock in particular.
Andrew, we'll take that into consideration and discuss it amongst the committees, the proper committees, to see what we can do to get that clock possibly fixed, if it is viable to be fixed, because we gotta say if viable to be fixed, okay? But we're focusing on the clock tower on the Grand Concourse. Since that is the motion on the floor, let's get to that one.
Okay, do we have any other questions, comments?
Just a clarification, the interior of that, they're not going to touch the murals, right? There's some murals or inside.
No, at Landmark.
Okay, so then the supermarket will be a couple of feet into, I mean, you'll be able to still see the murals?
Yes.
And they won't be touched at all by the activity of the supermarket? If anyone has ever been inside that bank, it's some beautiful murals from the what is it, the WPA
time, to the 1930s, they painted beautiful murals inside, so that's going to be visible.
Thank you for bringing that up. Anything else? Okay, guess we're ready for a vote, right?
Larissa Costa,
Accepts.
Tasha Andrews. Tasha, thank you. Betty Rosset approves. Yahira Arias approves. Manuel Asamoah, Eric Asensio, Michelle Avila.
Approves the motion.
Mari Barbosa, Kobe Buford. Montreal Chowdhury. Tamale Corley. Thank you. Sandra Erickson. Hugo Gonzalez. Alfred Grant. Lowell Green. Leslie Harrison. Lee Hartman Kandowski approves. Jean Hill.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you now. I'm sorry. Yes,
Jean
Jean Hill approves.
Andrew Leosa. Rosalie Leslie. Jesus Lopez Jensen. Thank you. Kazi Noor. Marian Parafeliz. Diana Pena. Daisy Perry. Edgar Ramos. Robin Roland. Chad Royer. Mamadou Sawana. Carlos Sosa. Samantha Suboxis. Barbara Stronda.
Barbara Stronda approves.
Wednesday Thomas. Adeline Walker Santiago. Jake Wilson. And Bernard Wright.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. A unanimous approval. Thank you.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. So we will soon see the 4 o'clock towers lit up finally on the concourse, which means we're bringing back life to our side of the district. Next, we're going to move on to the committee chairs' reports. And those reports, we're going to leave it up to a max of 5 minutes so that we can move along and we can actually get out of here on time. So I'm going to start off with traffic and transportation. Edgar?
Good evening. We have our meeting coming up next week, first Thursday of every month. We didn't have a meeting in March. So, any questions, please come to our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. Jean, budget and personnel?
Budget and personnel at the last meeting, we sent out letters to board members who had not been in compliance with their attendance. We have heard back from some of them. We gave them 20 days to respond to the letter that we sent out, asking them why they have not been in attendance to their meetings and coming to general board meetings and their own committee meetings. Some of them have answered, some of them have decided that they can no longer function as board members and have decided to drop off the board. In the next meeting, which will be on April 8th at Tracy Towers, we will go over the rest of the responses that we have gotten from board members who have not been attending their meetings. So we will do a complete follow-up after the April 8th meeting.
Thank you, Jean. Moving along, Leotis, Education, Youth, and Libraries.
Yes, we did not meet in March, but we are promoting the Yankees Youth Leadership Award. As Carla mentioned, the deadline is April 7th, available for ages 14 to 18, but 13-year-olds can slide in as well. They have to submit a resume with their education, voluntary, and extracurricular activities, a reference letter from a school or volunteer group stating their 50 hours of service, and the award is $750.
We have received 3 applications and a promise that they will send one from the Northwest Bronx Community
declaration fully changed.
So total 3 with 1 more possible, so that's 4, okay?
Quick question. It was something that came up, and I mentioned it to our DM. The application that the Yankees sent out for these young people to apply was a very professional application that you would get in professional workforce. It was very difficult, I thought personally, for young students from high school. It was never something that they had advocated before the Yankee organization. So this application, some of these young people might need help because it's a very, very professional. It's like if I went out to look for a job, they're asking me for my type of credentials. That's not something that a young person 13 to 17 or 18 would have in a high school background. They would have the other stuff, the 50 hours and, you know, recommendations, but I just thought it was a very difficult application, and that might be a hold up with us getting more young people applying for it.
Yes, and so both the flyer and the application itself has my contact information. I think it was 2 years ago, I actually sat with someone on the computer just to teach someone how to use Google Drive and how to create, how to go and find templates to recipes. So the good thing now, it's like online, you don't have to create something from scratch. You can look up something very quickly on Google and then you can find it. But my information is there. If someone is having a hard time putting the application together, they can always reach out. And my application is also on the application itself.
Thank you. Moving along, any other questions before we move on? Okay, next, Sandra, Housing, Land Use, and Economic Development.
Okay, other than our clock tower, we had a presentation from Latier Construction, who's building an affordable housing building at 3118 Webster Avenue, and they're in the foundation right now. We also got information on the CP7's FY25 capital expense budget. We also heard from the Department of City Planning on upcoming workshops on the City of Yes for Housing Opportunity. Then we did get an update from HBD as to the affordable housing preference. It used to be something that community boards appreciated and loved, that we have 50% community board preference when doing a housing lottery for Housing Connect. That is changing because of the legal, we've been sued. But now it's going to be, go down to 20% and then on down to 15%. So that is an update there. We also heard from EDC, Economic Development Corp, with an update on the Kingsbridge Armory, RFP. They didn't say too much, they were very tight-lipped about it, but they did outreach to community-based organizations to see how they could partner with some of the for-profit organizations. But it's coming in. Our next meeting is April 9th, location to be determined. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. That's correct. Right now it's 50%. The preference. Yes. So when you apply to Housing Connect and you're a developer or marketing agent, 50% of the units have to go to community board residents. So if it's a development in CV7, it would be 50%. And that has changed. The effective date, from an effective date through April 30th of 2029, community board preference shall not exceed 20%. And after April 30th of 2029, community board preferences shall not exceed 15%. So that's an update there. Anything else?
Within the next, up until 2029, what used to be 50% for community board residents, is being lowered to 20%, and then thereafter it's going to go down to 15%. So as the years go by, that percentage is gonna get lower and lower and lower.
I understand that, that's not a good thing.
No, it is not.
So
But
what-
it's not HPD's fault. What happened is they were sued. The city was sued because of it. All the community boards wanted it. It was something that was wonderful. I thought, that's my personal opinion, but they were sued because of it, so they had to change it.
So what is collective community board in the city of New York, what do we constitute?
Well, because there was litigation, there's only so much that we can at a specific level. We can't speak to our elected officials, we can let them know, we don't agree with this. However, once it's passed law, really there's not much that can be done unless the state legislature gets involved.
Yes.
So, this will be approved by the federal government?
We don't know. I'd have to get back to them.
Okay. So what you're saying, though, we have 50% until 2021 and it goes down to 20%, is that
Yes.
right? Okay, so that's a good grace period.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead. Well, it was in my notes bar. I don't know what happened. I must have gotten deleted from here. It was, I think they had about 180 community organizations attended this workshop they had, and most of them were from the Bronx. I think 75% were from the Bronx. It's just a way for, these are all for-profit developers coming in who may partner with a non-for-profit. So it's just to outreach to community non-for-profits to partner and to provide services or as part of the Kingsbridge Armory development.
No, this is all the workshops that the community working group put together.
Kingsbridge Together.
Yeah.
These are the workshops that was put together for the vision plan, the community vision plan. The RFP process has now closed. So now they're handling their aspect, and we're hopeful that at some point this year, we will know what the decision is for that RFP.
Yeah, I was just confused because I thought that there was something new.
No, they did come before the housing committee, but they could not discuss the amount of RFPs that they had.
Yeah, they can.
So it's a very internal process that they're doing. So they're reviewing internally, and at the moment they can't share details.
They literally would not give a whisper of what, how many people have responded or anything like that.
But we do know that the community vision plan that was with Kingsbridge Together is the catalyst for this project. So without it, it will not move. Without whoever the developer is cannot move forward if they do not meet the community demands in that part. As far as I'm clear.
Well, yes, they've been considered, yes. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, Sandra, before you go, in applying for new developments to get an apartment today, everything goes through this New York Housing Connect. That New York Housing Connect, from what I'm hearing from people, is a nightmare to fill out. And a lot of people are not getting any of these apartments or even getting in the running for one because they don't know how to go through all of the layers. Is there a way to put together a seminar or something to teach people? I think we did it at the office once before, and I think we need to revisit that because that process, like some other things that they make up today, I don't know who thinks of these barriers for people trying to get a living space. So that we really need to go and do some research and maybe help people work on that.
There are a lot of elected officials' offices are helping, can help people, but there's a lot of non-for-profits out there. There we go.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Adrian from Councilmember Sanchez's office. Just wanted to quickly respond respond to that comment. For starters, I do like that idea. And secondly, I do see Councilmember Dinowitz here as well. There will be a period where folks will be able to share testimony about Housing Connect. At some point, there will be a hearing. Forgetting when, but it will happen this year at some point. So what I recommend is reaching out to our office, and we will take note of those ideas. We've been getting a lot of folks sharing concerns about the Housing Connect portal and the process. So give us a call. I'll take note of it, and we'll be sure to allow you all that time to share said testimonies when that time comes. I don't have a date and time.
But if you go back to crawling out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be sure to share that information, but there will be a period in which folks will be able to share concerns about the portal, because I mean, I know as well, it's you know, the process can be difficult at times, and you know, we try to help folks navigate it. So let us know what specific issues you're having, and we'll make sure to make those concerns heard. Thank you.
Okay. Last question.
This isn't a question, it's actually a comment. I know some of the developers have offered assistance at the community board level for people that want to apply, especially around the time when the lotteries open up. Only because there's some people that feel when they look at the requirements that they are not eligible, when in actuality, if they fill it out properly, they are eligible. So I know some of the developers offer their services to help people so that they can apply and actually fit in where they feel that for some reason they may not, but if they fill out the paperwork properly, they may actually be eligible for some of those apartments.
Yes,
Just
and
one
there's
quick
so
comment. I do affordable housing development perhaps, and the goal for every developer is to have tenants inside the building as soon as possible. So I think the developer, the marketing agent will do whatever they can to help as well, so keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yes, I have attended meetings with Councilmember Sanchez at the Union Community Health Center, and they have also a working group that struggles with Housing Connect, and these are some of the issues that they have raised as well. I do know that the council member is very passionate about the topic, and some developers, you know, when they do come and they're having affordable housing units in their building, that's when we put together the Housing Connect workshop, but they still have to apply through the system.
Okay, so basically, if you know of anyone that's having an issue with New York City Housing Connect, have them give us a call, reach out to us, and we'll try to help. That's what we're here for. If you know of anyone who's struggling with it, have them give us a call, and we'll do our very best to help them out however we possibly can. I'm not going to take any more questions. Just like I said, so in part, like I said, the newsletter says a lot, so follow with that, follow the social medias, and that way, if anyone has issues, you know, we're here to help. It's an open door, you can always reach out, and we will try our very best to help. Moving the agenda along, I'm going to move on to Barbara, Parks and Recreation.
Good evening. At our meeting, we were not able to say what the staffing is going to be for our parks this summer. We're still waiting, of course, to hear from the mayor, who had originally promised a 1% increase to the parks budget, which we never received. We received some complaints from residents in the southern end about the corral that was put into DeVoe Park. It's a dumpster in the park which was supposed to hold the garbage from the park, and what's happening is people are putting small appliances and all sorts of items that do not belong in the park in the dumpster. It is located opposite more than a few apartment houses on Father Zizer Place, and no one wants to look out their window to see a garbage dump. So we're hoping that they will remove that before the warmer weather. It works in some of the larger parks where they can put the corral in an area that's more or less secluded, but not in a place like DeVoe Park. We've also heard complaints about the lack of trash receptacles in the parks. We have 11 parks in our community board, and the few that are out there are being chained, which seems to be working because no one comes along and steals the trash receptacles. So we are hoping to get more trash cans in the parks. Next month, we will have Dr. Stephen Payne from the Bronx County Historical Society as our guest. And I will keep you posted as to staffing for the summer months. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Moving along, Michelle, Health and Human Services.
Thanks, Jahida. So this month, we were joined by the New York City Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Anthony Miranda attended the meeting and talked to us about what the Sheriff's Office is doing in terms of illegal cannabis shops enforcement. It was a really great discussion, and we recorded it because we've had a lot of interest in this topic. So in your meeting packet, there is a QR code where you can access the recording, and the Sheriff gave a really great overview of his office's role, but also the interagency task force role in addressing these illegal cannabis shops that we know our community and communities across New York City are experiencing. And so the committee discussed having a follow-up event on Zoom to give the community, again, more education on the enforcement efforts that are being done, also information on the kind of risks associated with the consumption of illegal cannabis, and also talk about what's happening with the legal market. So more to come on that. We are also going to be offering a training on naloxone in partnership with the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene on Zoom, and then the kits will be mailed directly to the participants after completing the training. We are also going to be looking at, as a committee, having a joint meeting with the Housing Committee to explore illegal conversions of apartments. We know that earlier this month there was a fire in the district that unfortunately had one fatality, and we know that illegal conversions are very present in our community, and so we want to examine the issue and see what, as a board, we can do to put forward recommendations to curb this. Our next meeting is the third Tuesday of the month, and so we encourage folks to join us there. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Councilmember Dinowitz, I'm going to slide you in to the report so you can address our meeting here.
Well, thank you. I know Frederice from my office gave a great report before, so I'll just share a little bit. I know there was a question about the toll rebate, so I want to make sure everyone knows if you have an Easy Pass, a car registered in the Bronx, the Henrietta Bridge toll is free. It's instantly rebated. So if that's not happening for you, just call my office, call Assemblyman Dinowitz's office. It was really his win in the budget a few years ago. He was the one who secured that for all Bronx residents. So you can call either of our offices if it's not working. We will make sure you get that rebate that you all are entitled to. So I know Frederick spoke about a couple of local things. I want to just mention a few things. One is something I know you're all very familiar with, is the city is proposing a number of text amendments and citywide rezonings. We in the Bronx delegation, I co-chair the Bronx delegation with Councilmember Stevens, are hosting a borough-wide information session on this April 2nd. We will send, if we haven't already, send Community Board 7 the information. This is a virtual session to make sure you all know about some of the proposals for this citywide rezoning. This is very big, very impactful. It will certainly change the way development is done, certainly change the way a lot of the neighborhoods look, because every single corner of the city will be rezoned. So I encourage you to learn more about that, including through the community board, including through our delegation. If you have opinions on that, please share them with me. There is probably no more impactful vote that I will take this year than some of the citywide rezonings. Please share your thoughts with me. Second, it's budget time. I'm in the process right now of dealing with my discretionary budget. That's the budget where I get to choose which schools, which parks, get funding, and where I get to advocate for the speaker and the mayor to give additional funding, for different parks. For example, because of your advocacy, you said Williams-Bridgeover was important to me. We did two things important in the budget. One is we got $10 million in investment in capital funding for Williams-Bridgeover, and that was funded through the partnership with the Speaker's Office. And second, we funded an organization called ACE that does community cleanups. And again, because of your advocacy, including Bedford Marshall Association brought this up to us, we added cleanup routes around Williams-Bridgeover. So sort of more immediately, you should notice it's a little cleaner, and over the years, you should see capital improvements. Second part of the budget, though, is really the big citywide budget. Now, the mayor, the administration has proposed what he called pegs, reducing each city agency by a certain percentage. That's going to result in cuts to city services. That is coupled with the expiration of COVID relief dollars. So what we in the city council are now doing is saying, well, maybe we should be putting more money into education and more money into sanitation instead of your priorities. So we go back and forth. The mayor provided a preliminary budget. We are going to do a response. He'll respond to that, and then we'll go through negotiations. But if there are agencies, things that are important to you, whether it's our schools, whether it's the Department for the Aging, whether it's sanitation, small businesses, please let my office know so that we can carry those to the negotiations. I encourage all of you, if you want, maybe you'll be bored, maybe you'll be excited to watch some of the hearings we have. We are conducting hearings right now on the budget. You can submit testimony, you can go to the council website, submit written testimony, you can sign up to provide live testimony either in person or on Zoom. And just to show you how important these issues are to people, our education hearing lasted, I believe it was 11 hours, or 13 hours. It was either 11 hours or from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. And some of the people testifying were young children whose programs will be impacted by this budget. There are things like 3K are going to be impacted. Our ability to have translation services for families is going to be impacted. After school programs, school lunch, social workers, mental health counselors, all of these things are on the table right now. And that's the importance of all of you, all of us speaking up, and all of you reaching out to me to tell me your priorities. I don't want to take any more time, but I do want to let you know that number one, to me, is your priorities. So please share them with me. For Idris, again, my office is also here to help. Come by my office. She might be the one helping you. And everything else, again, reach out to my office, Dinowitz at council@nyc.gov. My office is in Kingsbridge, 277 West 31st Street, 718-549-7300. Thank you, everyone on the board, for all your volunteer work. I have a question from the mayor's representative, Alina Dow, who I like very much.
Who I also live in CV7, the best community borders, so you know. Hi, Councilman.
What's up?
Are you going to be able to take requests for, do a congestion pricing? Are you taking requests for the community to get permit parking for residents that live in areas?
So the question was about permit parking, which is different than congestion pricing?
No. I know that a lot of different councils are getting people to say that they are wanting that bill to be pushed.
Okay, so there's a question about residential permit parking, which is something that sounds really, to me, this is my opinion, it sounds really great if we just have permit parking for just our community. But that is not how permit parking would work, and that is necessarily how it could work, right? Because if I say, well, I just want Norwood Bedford Park to have permit parking, and then I want to go out to Queens, I want to go to Jamaica, Queens, and they suddenly have permit parking there, I can't visit my friends, I can't travel within my own city. So I am not in favor of permit parking, because I know it'll make it harder for all of us to get to our friends' houses, all of us to get to work, to get to the doctor, to get wherever we want in our own city.
The hearing
submit information about the budget?
Yes, so the discretionary budget. So my discretionary budget is again different from the citywide budget, so I just want to make sure those are separate. The discretionary budget, we are almost done with that process of putting in the applications were already due. So if you're a nonprofit, that application was due. There are still ways we are advocating for different local organizations to get funding, so it's not too late to send us your priorities, although the bulk of what we're able to directly allocate money for is almost closed. The citywide budget, you asked about testimony, specifically testimony to the New York City Council for the record, that is, I think, until 3 days after a hearing.
72 hours, yep.
Yeah, 72 hours, 3 days, same thing. The calendar, if you just Google Legistar NYC, you'll find the calendar of hearings. So if you see CUNY, the higher education passed, that's my committee, higher education. Education has passed. For the preliminary budget, there are still a few hearings coming up. There's going to be another round of executive budget hearings. The mayor, after we respond to his preliminary budget, the mayor is going to release an executive budget. And then we'll have another round of hearings. Find that Google Legistar NYC, you'll find the calendar. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you'll probably get the calendar for the committees I'm on. And I don't know how many of you were here for it, but last year, at the end of the budget cycle, I did a community forum on the budget at MMCC. I hosted it, and it went through the entire budget process, went through, from start to finish, and then some of the great things that we funded. So that's, later in the summer, perhaps, we can learn about that. For now, go to Legistar NYC, find it, submit testimony, and you can see on the council website. I think it's testimony@council.nyc.gov, but we can send it out, yeah.
Thank you, council member. Thank you for the information. Thank you for our community. Moving along, for the last two committee reports, I have Betty, sanitation.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. We met on March the 5th at the Williamsbridge Oval Recreation Center. We had a discussion, a variety of discussions and issues that we brought up. I'm not going to go into it because it's in my report, but I will have to say that the minutes that were submitted are somewhat different than the ones that I had prepared, so I'm going to submit the ones that are for the record. I tried to amend, but very similar things, just the gist. I think one of the biggest things now, that all commercial vendors will have to containerize their trash. That trash is picked up by a private hauler, not by Department of Sanitation, okay? So if you see, it was supposed to start March the 1st, 2024. They had been receiving information as of back in October of 2023. They've been told that this is going to happen. April 1st will be the time that they will have to have some type of a container that has an attached lid to have their trash picked up. That's only for commercial stores, those kinds of bodegas, all kinds of supermarkets, chain stores like a Pizza Hut or Domino's, or those kinds of stores have to have that container. You probably have seen them throughout your neighborhoods. These containers are out there. There are a lot of issues about this that's going to still be a concern, because beginning in October of 2024, residential buildings will have to containerize their trash as well. We'll see small homes, 1 and 2 family homes, units under 10 will be able to have to put out their trash in some type of a container. The big issue is going to be the large apartment buildings, and there's talk about containers that will be on the street, something like what's being done in Harlem right now. There's concerns about that because that may take up parking space. There was a very good article in the New York Times about this, all the problems that are surfacing because of this, and where will these buildings put these containers when they're not in use. So we will continue to discuss it. That is only for trash. For trash that goes in black bags, so black bags are to be replaced by a container of some sort with an attached lid. The recyclables can continue to be in plastic bags because they supposedly do not attract rats. And this is all to try to deal with our rat situation, but also a cleanliness issue. So more on that as time comes on. And we're I'm going to be speaking to the district manager about approaching our business improvement districts and merchants associations to see how they are helping small businesses in the community comply with this new law. The other, let me see if there's anything else. It's in my report, but I will be updating the report. We did look at, we had a request for more smart bins for organic waste. We don't have as many in our district, and there are people on the other side of the concourse that don't have access to getting to a smart bin to put their organic waste, since we do not have curbside collection for organic waste at this time, and we don't know when that will be resuming. Well, we will see about that. We were talking about having a joint meeting with Quality of Life, but we'll have more information later on. Our next meeting will be in May 7th. And if you have any questions, I ask the committee and community members, if you have ideas and concerns, please email them to me and possibly to Carla. I'm doing some research on the canine waste. I know we have a lot of issues about dog waste in our community. It's a big problem, it's a citywide problem, and I'm looking at what other cities might be doing to address the problem. And if you have any ideas, please forward them to us. My email is in the minutes, but I will be updating this as well. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and have a wonderful Easter and Passover as it's coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Last but not least, Chad, veterans.
Thank you, good evening. Oh, I got to turn it on, right?
Hold on. No, I think you might have time.
Oh, this works.
Okay.
So thank you, good evening. My name is Chad Boyer. With the Veterans Committee, we're actually having our meeting tomorrow at 2550 Webb Avenue. This mic don't like me.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, so we have our meeting tomorrow at 2550 Webb Avenue at 6:30. A couple of things we're going to cover. We're hoping to get some kind of follow-up with some complaints from Fordham Village veterans residents. We're going to continue the discussion of the Jeffrey Hunter Award, former veteran who served on our board, who unfortunately passed away. We miss him dearly. And other priorities that we can entertain that can be considered into legislation. And we also want to let you guys know that we are tentatively marking the date for May 4th for the Bronx Victory Memorial flagging event. We're just awaiting the green light from the Parks Department so we can get that cleared. It's a fun event. You guys ought to come down. Our next meeting after tomorrow would be April 17th, 2024. One thing that I omitted on the agenda, you may see volunteers of legal services. Unfortunately, that person who was presenting had a family emergency, so he won't be presenting tomorrow, but we are hoping to get someone who can provide some kind of legal advices that can help veterans on how to approach certain things that they may need help with. Other than that, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Chad. With the reports done, I'm going to open the floor for questions, comments. It's 8:46. If there are not any, Toby?
It's a concern. We lost a bunch
Yeah, so there was an incident in the community where a person died, there was a fire, and they found that there was a two-household home that had been illegally divided into 17 different apartments. And so one person was trapped in the attic, and because of that, they lost their life. And so our question was, and our plan was, because this was discussed at the Health and Human Services Committee meeting, was to partner with our housing committee and invite DOB to just speak about what are some of the ways that us as a community, what are some of the cues that we can pay attention to file those 311s. And Michelle, I'm not sure if you have anything else to add.
No, I'm hearing your comment though, Toby, to invite the fire marshal as well, and I think we can definitely reach out and see if they'll come.
Okay, so hold on one second. Betty?
Yeah, this is an issue that's prevalent throughout our community, and it's a difficult thing because people want to help people who are unhoused and give them a room and a roof over their heads, but at the same time, they are in violation and putting some of these people in danger by creating like these spaces that are not safe. On my block, there was something like this, and there was a fire, and they closed down, the Department of Buildings closed down the house. It has reopened again as sort of like an SRO, single room occupancy, and continues to be an issue. And now with a lot of people who are either working as delivery people or using bikes that have lithium batteries, this becomes, another track, something else on top of it as well. So I know that in our budget we had put in something about enforcement of Department of Buildings going out and looking more at some of these, really responding quickly to complaints about illegal conversions. It's something that we need to continue to follow up on.
Thank you, Betty. Alina?
So I just wanted to say on behalf of the mayor, that's why he does mention about if you see something, say something. If you notice that it's a two-family house and we have 20 people going in and out, those are flags, so you do want to report them to 311. So Department of Buildings is following up on those. As far as single room conversions, those are actually good that we know about them because then they are aware. So one of the problems that happened was that this building was converted, but no one said anything. So when the fire marshals, when they went inside, obviously they didn't know that this was technically a single room conversion. So if we do see in our neighborhoods, if we see something, we really need to say something. I know 311, the mayor's working on making it more proficient, but what we have is what we got for now. So complain can, at least put in the complaints.
Thank you. Andrew?
Close out almost every time. Everybody's shaking their heads. So it's hard for us to tell people, for me personally, to tell people to get involved and be a good citizen and call 311 when the system doesn't work. When the inspector comes to the door, knocks on the door, they're not going to let them to the apartment. Of course they're not. There's got to be more strength. There's got to be more. The city shouldn't have to go to court to get a court order to allow access to the apartment to see if there's an issue that's a quality of life and a dangerous issue. It could be the room where the fire escape is, and there's a legal wall with a lock on it. People are renting rooms in apartments. There are padlocks on the doors to the rooms in the apartment. I mean, there's anarchy out there. I can tell you, I'm sorry for being frustrated, but when you do this for a living, I just expressing to you the frustration that I hear and we hear almost on a daily basis from the tenants who live in the city.
Thank you, Andrew. We've been big advocates of, 311, you see something, say something. The system is there for a reason. However, it may not be perfect. I said this before, it may not be perfect, but the more we keep reporting, the more we keep at it, at some point, we will be heard, and that's my indication. Moving along a little bit on my end, for all of us who take mass transportation, who take the subway, I just would like to say, keep your eyes open, stay safe, know your surroundings. I take the train every day to work and back home, so I see a lot. Like 2 mornings ago, at 7:30 in the morning, there was someone surfing on top of the train. Okay, so and then maybe an hour later, I got a notification that someone was killed downtown, pushing the tracks. So if you're taking public transportation, if you're taking the subway, please look around, know your surroundings, be careful, don't stand too close to the yellow line. Make sure you know, because you never know. So just, from my point of view, just stay safe. Okay? And with that being said, can I get a motion to close the meeting? All in favor? Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.